Hi guys, welcome back to Astrology. Today we are doing the June monthly reading and I am going to get started with the important dates, key dates that are going to come into play. These dates are crucial for us to understand the shift of the planets from one house to the other. So let's deep dive and look into it. As you can see on the screen here, you have Sun in the sign of Taurus until the first half of this month. And from June 15th, he will be moving into the sign of Gemini. Then Mercury is making multiple house shifts during the course of this month. He's starting with Taurus, then from June 6th onwards, he's moving into the sign of Gemini in his own house and its own sign, and then he will be moving into the sign of Cancer from June 22nd. You have Venus, which is going to be staying in the sign of Aries for almost the entire duration of the month, barring the last 2 days when he is going to come into his own sign of Taurus from June 29th. Mars has been in debilitation in the sign of Cancer. You can see the smile on my face, and it is coming out into the sign of Leo, where he will get conjunct with Ketu, and we'll talk about that in a bit from June 6th onwards. Then you have Jupiter, which is, and this is wrongly represented, but Jupiter is already into the sign of Gemini and it's coming into Akshatra from June 13th. Now, Saturn is in Pisces in Uttara Nakshatra. Rahu is in Purv Bhadra, which is that of Jupiter as well. Just to call out, Saturn is in its own nakshatra placement, so that is again interesting. And last but not the least, is in Uttara Nakshatra that ruled by Sun in a sign of Leo. So guys, let's deep dive now into the reading and understand what would be the impact of these planets through the course of the month. So Taurus guys, as you can see on your screen here, that your Lagna Lord, which is also the Lord of your 6th house and is forming Vipreet Rajyog, placed in the 12th house itself. Now, Venus's placement into the sign of Aries is not one of the best ones. However, coming into the 12th house, it's almost as if it is coming into its own sign of exaltation, in its house of exaltation. So it's not as bad a placement for you folks, Taurus, as it could be for other signs here. You will realize that it is going 12th to itself, which means that in the month of June, you could anticipate some expenses, some major luxurious purchases that could be coming into play for you guys. You could be investing your money, you could be investing your own savings into something for future. It could also mean that there will be a lot of exertion coming into play, especially with respect to your job, your day-to-day schedule. You might have to exert more than normal during the course of this period. Venus is going to form Vipreet Raj Yoga for you, being the Lord of the 6th house placed in the 12th, which means that you can anticipate some sort of a positive outcome after an initial bit of trouble or hassles. You will have to keep good check of your health. I would want you guys to prioritize on that bit. This Venus is also going to ensure that you are consuming good quality food, traveling to different places, exposing yourself to new set of people who are looking forward to facilitate any kind of movement with respect to foreign connections, any kind of immigration related issues, any kind of concerns that you have with respect to spirituality will see a positive outlook in the month of June. Please be wary that you should not be acting as a spendthrift in terms of going beyond the means and purchasing stuff that is not required. Whilst this is happening for the first half of the entire month, you will have Sun, which is the Lord of your 4th house, placed in your Lagna. Somewhere or the other, the attribute to take a step back, an intent to procrastinate, being lazy, spending on luxury for yourself, for your own benefit, for your own comfort, is going to continue to take priority. Yes, with Sun's placement in the Lagna, there is going to be some level of overconfidence or positive confidence coming into play. But the reason I said overconfidence is because your Lagna Lord is going to the 12th. So just be mindful of that particular aspect. However, you will remain confident and you will be in grip of what you are doing and how you are proceeding overall. Sun coming into the first house is also a representation of the fourth lord coming into first, which means that somewhere or the other, acquisition of any kind of real estate, movable, immovable property, or furnishing something within your current home, within your current assets, improving on them, adding to the overall ease in your life will be priority for you guys, Taurus. Now, Sun sitting in the first house is also going to be giving an aspect into the sign of Scorpio into your seventh house. It is not a bad aspect because it is coming into the friendly sign. And more importantly, Mars is also getting placed in a decent position now for you folks. So you can anticipate some positive movement coming into play with respect to your partnerships. I see that confidence continue to ooze in you. With Mars moving 10 places away itself, I would not be surprised if many of you Taurus plan to embark on some sort of a journey, embark on some sort of a transformation, new initiatives with your partners, with your life partner as well. Some sort of a travel could also be on cards for people who are married. In the second half of the month, you will realize that Sun is moving into your second house where he will become conjunct with Jupiter and for a brief period of time with Mercury as well. Now, when that happens, there will be a lot of stuff. There will be a lot of hustle that will be happening from a home front perspective. I see many of you taking certain initiatives for your family members. Now, we have done a detailed video, guys, last month itself, where we talked about Jupiter's transit into the sign of Gemini. Jupiter will be moving into the Ardra Nakshatra as well, and that will be a word of caution because Nakshatra, for those of you who've taken one-to-one consultations with me, you've realized that I've talked about in depth as to the kind of transformation that you can go through with any planetary position or any planet present in this nakshatra itself. It is that of Rudra, which means a teardrop. So you will have to understand that there will be some level of transformation, there will be some level of discovery, some level of change that you will have to do from a family perspective, and you will have to bring in that level of authority, that level of confidence that you'll have to give to your family members as well. This is also going to be a period where you will be working deeply towards your health. You might be trying to consume good food. Jupiter's presence in the second house is actually beneficial from that perspective as well, because the good bit that I see with these positions is that all these three planets are going to help you move in a healthier direction. And your Lagna Lord also giving an aspect to your sixth is going to help you improve on your health aspect for sure. Now you have to understand that there will be a point in the course of the month when Jupiter will become combust because of the close proximity of Sun. And that is the period where you'll have to take some caution with respect to the houses that Jupiter rules in your chart. So Jupiter rules your 8th house and your 11th house, which means that any kind of suddenness, any kind of transformation, especially with respect to finances, with respect to money, can become crucial with respect to your income as well. And that is the span of time, guys, in the course of this month where you have to take due precautions and ensure that you are not making major financial decisions. Perhaps that could also be the reason that could be challenging with respect to the experiences that you and your family members might have in the month of June. And hence, I would want you to ensure that whatever decisions you are making have either been planned for much earlier in the last few months, or if not, try and see that you take a step back, take a 30,000 view, review what you are trying to act upon, and then proceed further. Jupiter from here is going to be giving an aspect into your 6th house, into your 8th house, and your 10th house. So from a work, career, professional perspective, I see this is going to be now a start of a new journey of some sorts. There is going to be some kind of an improvement, some kind of a transformation that is going to come into play. We've done detailed video on Rahu Ketu transit as well, where I touched upon this aspect. So with Jupiter's aspect coming into your 6th house, along with the aspect of Rahu, people who are applying for jobs, people who are looking for new job opportunities, people who are looking for a change of role within their current organization itself should see some positive trigger. Jupiter is going to control Rahu as well. However, once Jupiter is in the Ardra Nakshatra, the balance is going to swing a bit on Rahu's side. But remember, folks, Rahu is in the sign of Aquarius. It is in its own house at this point in time, and it is going to be a terrific placement from that perspective. Holistically, Tauruses, you are going to see a lot of positivity come across from your career perspective. Before I talk about the competition bit, I just want to draw your attention from Sun's aspect into your 8th house, into the sign of Sagittarius itself, which is ruled by Jupiter again. Now, as we approach the period where Jupiter gets combusted, please be watchful of your decision making. Please be watchful of your thoughts. Peace could get disturbed for some or the other reason. Overall, it will remain to be a good month, but there will be a few days in the middle of the month where you will find some challenges coming in from that perspective. Now, Jupiter is also giving that aspect into your 6th house, which means that people who are looking forward to prepare for competitive examinations, students who are applying for any kind of new college admissions, because your 5th lord is Mercury, right? And he is also placed in conjunction for major part of the month in the 2nd house itself, are going to see some positive movement there. Good news is expected. However, the combusted period of Jupiter, some of you in fact have done your consultations with me and you've realized that the results are anticipated in the month of June, and that is the caution window I've been giving people. That could be the period where you might not find the results to your best liking. Now, combustion doesn't mean that it is going to be abysmally bad. It just means that the expectations that you would have will not be met. Or otherwise, the way you can anticipate is that you will have to put 120, 130% effort to achieve similar amount of outcome that you are planning. Now, Mercury, which is the lord of your 2nd house itself, is going to be majorly placed in the 2nd house for you, which is going to bring in some level of sweetness, kindness in your communication. You are going to ensure that you will articulate your thought process well, even when you are facing with all the difficulties that you anticipate during this period. You will have control on your language. And that is one of the best things that's happening for you, Taurus. People who are working with areas that are related to Mercury, say communication in this field of sales, in the field of data science and decision making, in the field of accounting and stuff, or in businesses as well, you are going to see positive outcomes for a major part of the month. Remember, Jupiter is a natural karaka of 2nd house, so him being placed for you guys for the next few months, along with Mercury's placement in the 2nd house, being the lord of that house for major part of this month, is also going to ooze out a lot of positivity. Again, I would want to emphasize, continue to consume right quality of food. You are going to see an uptick in your savings, in your bank balances as well. General environment in family from a mental peace, sanity perspective will be on the good side. Then this Mercury will be transiting into the sign of Cancer. And once it comes into the 3rd house, from a natural Kalpurus chart perspective, it is owned by Mercury and he rules communication as well. So him coming into the 3rd house is not a bad movement. However, he doesn't feel very comfortable being placed into the sign of Cancer. And thus, I would want to highlight that when it comes to formal communication, whilst you will be smart, articulate, there could be situations where you could show some level of frustration. Please try and avoid that. What do I mean by formal communication? People who are working, you can anticipate some challenges at your workplace in the way you write your emails, in the way you communicate over meetings. People who are students watching this video, you could find some bit of an ambiguity whilst communicating with your college teachers, at your schools, or otherwise. So please be watchful on that front and contain that frustration within you. As we move further, we see that Mars, which is the lord of your 7th house and your 12th house, is placed into the 4th house now in conjunction with Ketu. I have highlighted the importance of change in residence coming into play for many Taurus folks. And now, when the 12th lord is placed into the 4th house, there could be a definitive shift that Mars could trigger for you folks. Many of you guys, Taurus, who are living in a foreign land, foreign from where you are born, culturally in a different place, would want to purchase a new property. Property purchase will be triggered during this period. In fact, both June and July will be these 2 months. That is when you can plan some sort of an investment at this point in time. Otherwise as well, there will be a definitive chance for people to change their residences, relocate into new regions, and thus get started with a new journey with respect to your job, karma, efforts, business perspective. Why? Because Mars is also giving an aspect into your seventh house, which is your house of business, into your 10th house of karma, and very importantly, into your 11th house of gains, where Saturn is beautifully placed for you. So, Taurus, I see again a lot of growth coming in with respect to your career shifts, with respect to new opportunities, with respect to the shift of your residence, probably relocation into a different city itself. And all of these movements ideally should work out in a positive way if you are running into a decent dasha and antardasha in your natal chart itself. Now remember, whilst Mars is in the fourth house and giving a fourth aspect into your seventh house, it can bring some level of argumentative situations with your business partners, with your colleagues, or even with your spouse. This is where you will have to practice some level of caution and ensure that there is no loss of harmony. Mars is also giving an aspect to the 10th house, which is going to bring a renewed amount of energy in you and how you are going to put the efforts at your workplace, in anything you do for that matter. And that is working positively with Rahu's presence in the 10th as well. However, as I was alluding to some lack of mental peace, there is a possibility, Taurus, that your mind could be racing in different directions. You might want to accomplish a lot more in a very short period of time. You could be working towards expanding your throne, your assets, your gains. And this could bring some level of mental insanity as well. Now, this doesn't mean that it is going to be extremely negative. However, it's said in our ancient books that typically for a female chart, it is not considered to be a very conducive placement for marriage or for family related affairs. Now, as I move further, I had touched upon this a bit, but I want to highlight that people who are singles, who are looking forward to expand on their romantic life, who are going to see some kind of a change with respect to their education and stuff, Mercury being your fifth lord placed majorly in its own sign is going to act positively for all you folks, and you should see some positive outcome there. Now, I would want you to not jump into any kind of speculation if you are watching this from a trading stock investments perspective because of the connections that are coming into play with the second and the eighth houses. But overall, there's a lot of positive elements for you folks. As I move further, Rahu and Ketu axis into the 4-10 is a beautiful axis. This is going to be a period, Taurus, that you have to ensure that whatever new change, whatever new initiatives, whatever big decisions of life you have to take, you must start, you must sow the seed of those initiatives. It is going to be extremely positive for you for the next 18 months to reap the benefits of what you are acting upon. Last but not the least, we've done a detailed discussion on Saturn transit as well. Saturn is placed in your 11th house. Yes, it is going to limit your social circles. It is going to bring some level of delay in your gains, but gains are going to be promised. I don't want, Taurus, you guys to be dropping your ball in terms of your efforts at any point in time. You have to also ensure that this Saturn is giving an aspect into your 8th house along with the aspects of Jupiter, Mercury, and Sun coming in different points of time, and Ketu. So some level of suddenness, some level of ambiguity can definitely be seen with this transit and how things are panning out for you guys in June. All in all, it seems to be a decent month. It's going to be a month where luck is continuing to favor you with your own efforts because your 9th lord has moved 3 places away into the 11th and your 10th lord is sitting second to itself. So destiny is going to be controlled in your own hands. There will be some unambiguous situations that you might have to deal with, but all in all, a lot of positivity around. I hope guys you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology and keep watching.